Okay. Hello, everybody. It has been a little bit, to say the least. Um, 1 second. We're just gonna do a couple things. Okay, guys. So, welcome. Yeah, it has been a long time for me. Um, I'm basically so this is going to be the first of many kind of a weekly thing I'll be doing after the AMA. Um, kind of after listening to their AMA, kind of to give my thought and insight on where I think Pixels is going as a whole. Not going to be super long, um, but it will be something that you guys will be able to basically get a quick rundown of kind of what is going on and what to kind of achieve and what we're looking at as a guild as CG and new players as well. So as you can see, I pretty much have a billion chests. I'm holding on to everything. I'm not really selling. I'm not playing a whole lot. I'm basically keeping my energy at uh, so it doesn't max out. And trying to grind all of my skills at level 70. Level 70 kind of seems to be what you want to achieve right now. Yes, it's not, going to hit your tier 5 goal, but it will unlock most of the pixel tasks. Um, and it's a good level to basically average out. As you can see, I do have my forestry and my cooking at 70, and a lot of other of my skills are above 50. Some are close to 60. Um, and then woodworking, I almost have 70. I'll have within the next couple of days. I'm not really grinding wine out um, or using wine to grind stuff out. I'm just making stuff. Why do I have a profit? I don't even have that installed. Oh, okay, give me 1 second. That's weird. It's so weird. Okay. Yeah, that was really weird. Okay. So basically, I log on once in a while to keep my energy low enough and to kind of time my VIP energy so I can use it 4 times a day to get that 1,000 energy to keep getting that. Um, so there are mixed feelings with the task board. Now, some people have been doing exceptionally phenomenal with the task board. We're going to use a couple wine. That way I have something to do and talk about at the same time. So there are mixed feelings with the task board right now. The team, they've said for the last 6 to 7 AMAs, and keep in mind that's about a month and a half to 2 months. that they have been working on improving the task board. So we have seen the task board go from, in the last month and a half, to rewarding huge payouts to low-level players at first, and then high-level players at first, on second glance. And then the task board right now, we're kind of in a third phase where it's kind of a mix. A lot of people aren't getting anything, but at the same time, some people are making bank and they're not spending any coins to do that. So it really feels like it's a super luck based task board. Now, my opinion on that is I personally hate it. Okay. I have not had a good stroke of luck with the task board yet. So I'm the least. I'm trying to put it as nice as possible. You could say I'm pretty pissed off about it. I guess that would be putting it nicely. Because chapter 1, I like chapter 1. There was strategy to it. You didn't have a billion industries like you have there. Like, I'm basically done. Like, I don't want to do anything in chapter 2. Where chapter 1, I basically had to travel through to lands. I had a bunch of timers set. You know, it felt very rewarding in chapter 1 doing all of this. Where chapter 2, it's basically just like I get on, I use my energy, and I don't really feel like doing anything else. The only timers I have is my sleep timer for my energy and my 6-hour energy. That is really the only timers I use now. So, do I think Pixels is doomed? No. Far from it. I think they just kind of hit that midway crisis where they're getting stuff out and it's kind of at a lull. That's kind of why I'm always grinding and keeping my energy gone and storing everything. Because I still believe that there's a huge audience and a big factor with Pixels. Right now it's kind of at a lull where it doesn't feel good, in my personal opinion. I think you could probably ask 1,000 people, and I guarantee you would have more people say, yeah, I don't feel like it feels as good as chapter 1. And that's 1,000 people that played during chapter 1. And then you can ask 1,000 people that played, that newly played chapter 2, and they would say, well, it's super hard to do anything. I don't know why I did that. So it's really hard. It's kind of in the mid ground of stuff, and it's just, in my opinion, it's not very rewarding unless you want to grind 18 hours a day, and even then, you're probably making $100, if that. So, and that's literally spending all day doing these task board things. So, I need to grab more iron. We'll probably have to mine soon. But I only do the task board for coins that I know are rewarding because it's not really giving a bunch of good pixel tasks at this point in time. So for new players that are just coming into Pixels, it can feel like you're not really going anywhere. I will throw it out there because I wanted to try it. I don't use the account anymore, but I created a new account just to kind of get the feel of a new player, and it's honestly awful. The whole purpose, Heidi and Luke constantly said, yeah, 2 to 3 weeks you should be able to earn enough pixel to upgrade your specs so you can get level 2 on it. Well, I played the account for about 2 weeks, right? just to see if something like that was true. And I will tell you, I earned zero point 0.5 pixels, and I had a total level of like 150. And anyone that knows me is, I do stuff to a T. So, profit margin, time spent, so forth. I'm not going to break my back over a new account. I kind of just wanted to get the feel of things. So as a new player coming into this, and keep in mind, I had the knowledge of how to do stuff to get further than an actual new player. So it wasn't really a new player. It was just a new account testing stuff. So as I was going through it, I did woodcutting or forestry and woodworking. Those were the two skills that I kind of tried to get up super quick. And it took days and days and days upon, I should say weeks upon weeks. It took me almost a month, okay, without VIP, because it's a new account, so it's a new person. You want to treat it like a new person, to get level 20 in forestry and woodworking. A month. And that is all I did. I didn't do anything else. Okay? And that was not consuming wines. That was just the basic restore energy and the sleep energy. It feels awful for new players. It really does. And to have them get their spec upgraded using 10 pixels so they can put level 2 industries on their spec so they don't have to wait to use other people's is just, it's horrible. So the feel for new players, I really do feel you. Will there be a place and time? Yes, I do. Is it right now? I don't think so. They are working on it. I do believe in the Pixels team and Heidi and Luke. I mean, they have progressed quite a bit. They fixed, what people were complaining. Now the task board it seems to be broken again, and it's not really rewarding as it should. I don't even really do it anymore because it's just not worth my time. I hate luck-based. I would prefer skill-based. And yesterday I was getting super mad. This is off topic, but I was getting super mad at Limterra because everyone was getting drops except me. So I'm not a fan of super luck-based games. I would prefer skill-based games. So we're gonna kind of fast forward a little to existing players and the guild war that just took place. We placed, I can't remember the initial. I can't remember the initial rank we placed. I think it was in the top 10, wasn't it? Or was it lower than that? I can't remember. So, a couple things. They're asking for a lot of feedback. I did write up a full page of feedback on this Guild Wars. To me, it felt very lazily done, I guess is the word you were looking for. It had a good idea behind it, but I think throughout the 3 days, instead of changing it up, they kind of didn't do anything with it. And it made it after the first day where scripts were involved and not bots, okay? Don't get me wrong. Bots were not involved as much as scripting. Scripting is different from bots. Once you get a script, you can basically sit there. You're not a bot, but you have a script, so it kind of does the work for you. And auto clickers. But it was a nice event, but I think they handled it wrong, and they could have handled it better. I don't know if the caves are still open. We can go there kind of to give you a visual as I'm going through this. We'll see. And we can actually, I can see the ranking. I'm assuming it's probably still open. $14. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we finished 9th in the upper bracket. So it wasn't horrible. And then I believe, yeah, she got knocked down a little. She finished 4th. And then I don't even want to know where I finished in this. I think I finished somewhere here. I just want to see real quick, and then we'll continue. Give you an idea. I swear I was around here somewhere. Okay. 154. So not horrible, but not great. So the first day I had a lot. And then after that it kind of drained out and I didn't want to do anything. So we're just gonna go into an arena and kind of give you a brief overview of what happened and what I think could have happened for a better change. So we got the caves here, right? Completely empty. I honestly don't care about wasting some energy. Okay, so we're in here, right? Is it still active? No, it's not. We're in here, we're planning. We basically have a territory, right? So first of all, okay, it was in 3 different brackets, okay? And they kind of talked about it in the AMA, which I'm glad they did to kind of address the issue. So they broke it into 3 different brackets, right? They had smaller guilds, medium guilds, and larger guilds. Now, sounds good, right? Sounds good. They have 3 different placements for the 3 different levels of guilds. But it wasn't. Okay. So basically you plant, you water, and you harvest. And it's about 15 to 20 minutes. I don't have the exact time. I was too frustrated and pissed off that they allowed that to happen when it was a guild war. So you basically you're planting, right? You're watering, and then you basically watch. You can fertilize it to make it grow faster. Usually it was a level 2, so it was like 4 minutes, about 4 or 5 minutes. I think it was 5 minutes. And you fertilize it until about a minute, and then once it grows, you can harvest it. Well, the first day it was nice because you constantly had a battle back and forth between guilds. You had goo coming on, and you had to rewater it, stuff like that. And then people learn that there's a huge timer before you have to harvest it. And that's where I think things kind of spiraled downhill. Because now you have guilds basically doing kind of rush raids. They would come into a cave with 30, 40 people, while their other 30, 40, 50 people were back in one area. And they didn't really care about the guild, what guild it was. They would rush raid it. They would goo everything. They would plant everything. They would quickly fertilize everything, make everything grow. And then they would all leave. Don't care about harvesting. Literally, I saw it time and time again. And it was so frustrating that top guilds literally could just come in, plant stuff, leave it for 20 minutes, and would not come back and harvest it whatsoever. And they would continuously do it over and over and over when this was supposed to be a guild war. I get strategy is involved, but this wasn't strategy because it was done to smaller guilds. It was done to guilds that only had 10, 20 people. And when you have a guild of 150 people doing this to 10, 20, 30 people, it's not cool. It's it's frustrating. I get we were in the top bracket. I personally don't think we should have been in the top bracket. We should have been in the mid bracket, but it is what it is. It's done and over with. But I think moving forward, what they could have done better is limit caves to certain tiers. So if you're in the smaller tier, you would get access to cave 1 and 2. Okay? If you're in a mid-tier, medium-sized guild, you would get access to caves 3 and 4. And then if you were in the higher involved tier, you would get access to 5, 6, and 7. Now, it would cut down on some caves, but it would make more interaction. It would make more alliances. It would make more communication. And you would be seeing a lot more. Another thing I think they should have done even midway through this guild war kind of classification is either reduce the cooldown. So instead of waiting 15 minutes for the fully grown plant to harvest out, I think it was 10 minutes, but it's about 15 minutes because once they have it down, they just sit on top of it and spam fertilize and all that. So it's about 15 minutes from planting to dying. Instead of that, they could have reduced it to a minute or two, or they could have made it so fully grown crops after a minute can be destroyed. And I think that would have upped the engagement. They would have had better reaction to it. And you just wouldn't be seeing these top tier guilds come in and do what they were doing to all these places and then just leaving them for 20, 30 minutes and then basically repeating the process over and over. I think you would have been seeing that decreased. And then I'm losing my train of thought. I have ADHD, so my thought is just whoosh, it goes all over. Another thing, the goo I feel like just was way too expensive for what it did. Granted, I know it's a coin sink and so forth, but I just think it was horrible compared to the watering. There's not really too much on that. What I think could have been better in this guild war is do a hourly fee. And I know the team could have done it. It would have been a little more work, but I think it would have created a lot more interaction. Because if I know I'm not going to be on for 6 hours, and there's an hourly, basically entrance fee to get into the caves, and then with that hourly fee, you get access to a limited supply of guild your shop. So basically, everyone would have a set thing of materials, and from those materials, you could basically buy what you wanted. They would be a little cheaper because of the hourly entrance fee, and you wouldn't have to spend so much. And instead of stuff costing pixels, it would cost a set amount of pixels for another whole set of that goods, basically a refresh. And you would get that hourly. You would just have to pay the hourly fee. So I think it would make more communication between guilds. Basically, okay, I'll pay your hourly fee, come in, get these things for me, and make them tradable between guildmates. Again, a little more work, but it's not out of the reach from what Pixels has done. So now I kind of focused on the bad on what they did. Now I'm going to flip it and kind of focus on what they did good. I think for a community event, I think it was well executed in the fact that I did meet people from other clans, such as Voxels and Moku, because that was kind of who we were allied with. We had some great conversations the first 10 hours that I played this. because I played it nonstop for the first 10 hours because I enjoyed it. We were invading people. People weren't basically sitting on full grown crops. So there was actually wars. And it was fun. It was enjoyable. It really was. But after that, after I logged back on the next day, everyone basically just sat on full crops and would do one plot at a time. And it was boring. And you had scripts coming out so that way you couldn't take over stuff, and so forth. So now looking into the future, I think Pixels has learned a lot from this. As long as they actually take the feedback from everyone that has been giving them feedback and using it and applying it. And I think the next events you're going to be seeing a lot better. I think they do have a good team. They have good intentions behind what they are doing. They're not out to screw the players and the player base as I feel like they have been doing a lot of work. It's not where they want it, and it's not where we want it as the player base. So you just kind of bear with them. Knuckle down, kind of keep base, keep what you're doing, push all your skills to level 70, and keep that energy down. Attend the energy parties weekly. That's really all I can say right now, without going into a purely negative. Because me being a super grinder from chapter 1, I'm personally not liking it. I am, though, very hopeful, because I do believe they have good intentions. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be here. Still playing the game. Yes, my time has gone down a lot, but I am still very hopeful on Pixels creating a good game and to do right by the player base. It's just going to take some more time than I think they thought. So again, I'm going to be trying to do a Wednesday after the AMA, kind of my thought and input on the previous week, what all has changed, what has happened, and then kind of the AMA that they talked about. And really, it was kind of, they talked about the guild wars, what they learned going forward, what to expect. And I am very hopeful on all the events that they're going to be pushing out. So until next week, I will be signing off. And I'll see you next week around the same time.